Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today hopefully will be quite a quick video, and this is 4 fragrances, one for every season. So I'd really like it if people would join in with this, and either in the comments below, or if you have a platform, maybe you can share your 4 fragrances, one for every season, on your platform and tag me in it. I would love to see what your choices would be. But I've gone through my collection and had a think about, if I could only have one fragrance for that particular season, what would it be? And this is what I've come up with. So let's start. I'm going to start with spring. Spring is new beginnings, and I love spring. I love summer, but spring heralds summer, doesn't it? And I really struggle with the winter. I struggle with the cold. I struggle with bad weather. I don't like going out if it's rainy or windy or cold or dark. I don't like short days when the sun's hardly out and you wake up and it's dark and the sun, it feels like it's light for a few hours, and then before you know it, it's getting dark again. I just don't, it's just not for me. So I love spring, and this fragrance feels really springy and happy to me, and it is 31 Rue Cambon from Chanel. So it's one of the exclusives from Chanel. John the Scented Snowdrop just did an Instagram post about this fragrance. I sent him a little sample and he just did a little write-up about it, so go and check that out. But this one, I wanted it for quite a long time, and then I finally added it to my collection back in the summer. And it has the most glorious iris in it, and I think that's probably why I love it so much. But it is an ylang ylang citrusy scent. There are other florals. I think ylang ylang is probably the most prominent, and I would describe, I think it is officially a chypre. I would describe it as a beginner chypre. It smells like it has a little bit of a chypre dry down, so it goes sort of fluffy. There is no listed oak moss, but I feel like there is a little tiny bit of oak moss in the dry down. I think there's some patchouli as well, but it's all very gentle. So if you're like me and chypre is not your favourite category, I have hardly any chypre fragrances, but sometimes I really enjoy them if they are very gentle, and this is definitely what I would call a gentle chypre, but it's sunshiny, and that's what makes me think of spring, because it has this amazing bergamot that to me smells a little bit like lemon sherbets. So it's like a hard boiled sugary lemon sweet to me, the citrusiness. And that citrusiness does hang on for most of the fragrance. So it's not one of those very natural, juicy, zesty citrus type fragrances. It's very rounded and very smooth. And yeah, absolutely love it. So 31 Rue Cambon by Chanel is my choice for spring. And what happens after spring? Well, of course, it is summer. And one of the questions a lot of people ask, and one of the difficult things to find for summer, is a fragrance that will actually last but is refreshing. A lot of the citrusy perfumes that are very zesty and refreshing and vibrant tend not to last too long, because citrus notes are very volatile, which means that they're very noticeable and strong when you first spray them, but they disappear very quickly. One fragrance that stays really strong and fresh for hours and really lasts and yet is fresh is this one here. Now, this is not going to be for everyone, this one. It's called Sex and the Sea Neroli. It's by Francesca Bianchi. I also have the matching oil, which I love. It's really strong. So you could actually just wear the oil and you're going to smell really quite well of Sex and the Sea Neroli for several hours. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. This one has a bitterness to it, so it's not just citrusy. It definitely smells citrusy. You obviously have the neroli, which is from the orange flower, but it's a little more bitter and green than an orange blossom. I think there's probably both in here, and after all, it comes from the same flower anyway. But it is quite green and bitter, which I don't normally love in a perfume, but I don't know why I really love it in here. I'm not sure if it's other ingredients, It smells to me like there's petitgrain, which is the leaves and twigs from the orange flower or the orange tree. So it's quite green, fresh and orangey and bitter all at the same time. There's definitely some tropical flower situation going on here, which makes you think of beaches and maybe even sunscreen, but only in a very subtle way. But I think of tropical, stunningly beautiful flowers on a lovely, amazing island. And then there is a slight animalic touch, but I'd say it's very subtle for a Francesca Bianchi fragrance. This is really not that animalic. And then this balmy, almost warm sand, muskiness, along with some sweetness, which I believe is a vanilla, maybe some other things add a little sweetness. So it's quite a complex perfume. It is not simplistic and it's very long lasting. I've had compliments wearing this. It's very strong. It's not for everyone, but the great thing is you could really only need one spray and you really are done for the whole day. So it's an amazing summer scent if you want something that's actually quite noticeable and very, very long lasting. As I say, not for everyone, but I think it's an amazing choice. Now, when summer sadly ends, unfortunately, I know so many people that love the autumn. And I don't hate the autumn, but it heralds winter, which I do kind of hate. Sometimes autumn can be really quite pleasant if the weather behaves itself. It doesn't get too freezing or too windy or too rainy. Autumn can be very pleasant, or the beginning at least. This is all personal opinion, of course. But I think in the autumn, we all want something a little more cozy, and we're probably ready now for something a little sweeter, a little richer. And I think the perfect autumn fragrance would be this one here, Harvest Mouse from Zoologist. This is a wheaty hay vanilla scent. It has a beer CO2 extract in it, so it has an actual beer ingredient, which makes it feel like, I don't think it smells like beer, but it smells like you could maybe be in a little bit like you could be near an oast house where they have the hops inside or something like that. It's just got a little bit of that, but it's very cocooning, very comforting, very soft. It's quite vanilla-y without smelling like there's a separate vanilla smell. It's all mixed in together with these more interesting notes. There's a chamomile. I think that's why that makes it so cozy and comforting as well. And so overall it's just this really cozy, cocooning, lovely, sweet, fluffy scent. It is not childish. It doesn't smell full-on gourmand. It smells like a proper perfume. This could be made by Guerlain. It is that good. It really is an amazing fragrance. So that is Harvest Mouse from Zoologist. And my final one, when we reach winter, this is now the time that I am crying. This is now the time that I sit inside my house and just pray that there is no reason for me to leave. For example, a couple of days ago, it was really grim, awful outside, just dark, dull, rainy, windy, miserable. And I actually ordered, I had run out of bread and I was really hungry and I needed some breakfast. And I was going to order breakfast, which I've never done before. I order takeaway in the evening sometimes, but I've never ordered breakfast. And I was going to do that, and it was going to be really expensive because I'm here on my own. You know, you have to make the order up to get the delivery, and it was looking a bit ridiculous, like just an absolute waste of money. And so then I saw that I could order from my local co-op, which is a 5-minute walk away, by the way. And so I ended up ordering, and so I paid a little bit over the odds, but I ended up ordering my bread and plus a few other necessities from my local co-op, so that I didn't have to go out in this miserable wintry weather. Unfortunately, today actually looks all right outside. Some It's cloudy, but you can see a little bit of lightness coming through from the sun. It hasn't rained so far today, so birds on the roof. Yeah, so anyway, winter, I think for me anyway, let me know how you feel about winter, but for me, I need a pick-me-up. I need comfort, I need warmth, I need coziness, I need sweetness. And what a fabulous, opulent fragrance is Bengal Rouge from Papillon Perfumery. This one to me, when you first spray it, so this is, it's how do we describe it? It's definitely a vanilla, an amber. I guess you call it an amber. I'd say it's a floral amber, but it's more amber than floral, and it's very opulent, and it is not a typical amber. Like, it's not just a basic amber. It's called Bengal Rouge. It smells spicy. There's no added spices, but I think it's I forget now if it's the sandalwood or the tonka. I think there's tonka in here. It has this rich spiciness, and it is so opulent. There's some rose in here as well, but it doesn't really dominate, so it's not as rosy as tobacco rose at all. What I love, so when you first spray it, you can smell that sandalwood. It smells spicy, but it smells rich and sweet. I also smell lemon and honey in the opening. I'm not sure either of those are notes official, but to me it does remind me a little bit of when you have a cold and you have sort of lemon and honey in its various forms. It sort of reminds me of that, but with this added rich spiciness. But it's as it wears down, I think there is actually an official honey note from memory now. I'm pretty sure there is a honey note. As it wears down, it becomes powdery, almost like a caramel. Think of a Werther's Original Sweet, the richness of that, and all the other sort of ambery, cocooning, rich scents just come into play. It is like being wrapped in cashmere. It's like being wrapped in multiple layers of cashmere, fur, suede, silk. It's a very textural, is that a word? Textural. It's a multi-textured fragrance that is warm and really envelopes you in a richness that is perfect for winter. It's exactly what we all need in winter, in my humble opinion. So that one is Bengal Rouge, and that is my pick to wear all through winter. So they are my one fragrance for each season. Please do comment on what yours are, and I would love it if you do have an Instagram or a YouTube channel yourself. Please go ahead and do it. Consider yourself tagged, and I would love to see what you come up with. So thank you for watching, and I will see you hopefully in another video. Bye.